lives just sent back.
I think so.
Yeah.
A one-woman team, so dating this guy who...
Oh, Tiny Hawk, yeah, I heard that. That was hilarious.
Yeah. I'm dating a man who... Oh my god, just a reminder, we're filming this, so I want everybody to have the most energy they've ever had in their entire lives. If you don't all pop a blood vessel by the end of the night, I'm gonna be pissed. I will meet you in the back. Alright, so everybody keep it going. James Coburn.
Bodies and pounds lying mountains a mile high. Children and innocents hit the ground when the rounds fly from south to south side. The numbers are stunning, it's like the coming is coming. From out of thunder, it's running, humming and whizzing in school walls. Cinemas, food,
Thanks so much. Thank you so much. Hey, just before we get started, let me hear you make some noise for Ali O'Neill, Abe Gatling and Brick Hardwell. Thank you. Thanks so much. They're my best friends. They are my best friends in comedy. I love them so much. I hope you guys enjoyed them. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be doing this in New York. It's been my home for the last 6 years or so now, which is very nice. Yeah. I get back home to Australia in Melbourne, where I'm from, quite often. I had to go back there a few months ago for a family reason. And then every time I go back to Australia, I stay with my dad, which I'm very fortunate to do. But I don't know if you know this, but every time you go back to stay with a parent, they just immediately switch back into parent mode, which as an adult is very frustrating. They want to do everything for you, but you need them to know that you don't rely on them. Like my dad was doing kind little gestures around the house, just like any parent would, and I was just being a little asshole. Like one night he was cooking dinner. He was cooking spaghetti bolognese. Delicious, might I say, right? He was cooking spaghetti bolognese. He said, "James, I'm cooking spaghetti bolognese. Would you like some?" I said, "Dad, I'm 32 years old. I'm fine. I'll get my own dinner." And then like an asshole, he said, "Are you sure?" And I said, "Dad, I'm fine. I'll sort out my own dinner." And then guess what he did? He doubled down. He said, "James, it's fine. I've made plenty. I'm not going to be able to eat it all. I can fix you a plate right now if you'd like." I said, "Dad, if you fix me a plate of spaghetti bolognese, I'll burn this fucking house to the ground. Okay? It's just a fact. It's just how it's going to go down." You would have seen me on the news, man. You would have seen 32-year-old Australian man shoots his father and then himself after his dad offers to do his laundry for him. He did that one day. He knocked on my bedroom door and he's like, "James, I'm doing a load of laundry. Would you like me to do yours as well?" I said, "You'd fucking like that, wouldn't you, Dad?" "Yeah, you'd like that. It's part of your little game, isn't it?" I was at home. I was listening to him chew one day, sitting at the breakfast table, and I could hear him chewing his cereal. Does anyone else have this gripe? For some reason, like it sucks any time, but for some reason, if it's a parent, it's just the worst thing in the world. Right? Like my dad's a successful man, but hearing him chew just like reduced him down to the dumbest person I've ever met. It made all his accomplishments, all his knowledge, all the wisdom he's imparted onto me, made it all redundant. He was sitting there chewing and I was sitting there thinking, I can't believe this guy raised 2 kids. This guy's an idiot. I let him know about it too. I said, "Dad, you got to chew more quietly. And then he said, I own this house. And that's how that conversation ends. Yeah. That's when you just put your head down, eat your scrambled eggs on toast, and just be grateful for what you got. Parents love that owning the house trump card, don't they? Do you remember growing up? There was no scenario that you could win in an argument against your parents as long as they were using that trump card, which they often did. Your dad could like shoot your best friend in the head. And you'd be like, yo, Dad, like, why'd you shoot Justin in the head? And he'd be like, why don't you pay rent? You'd be like, fuck, that's a good comeback, actually. Yeah. I've actually got nothing in return. I sure as hell aren't going to pay rent, so, you know, what's for dinner? Spaghetti bolognese? Brilliant. That works. I had a friend say to me the other day, she asked, have you ever considered talking to a psychic medium? You know these people that like claim to be able to talk to the dead? And I said no, and she said, why not? And I said, well, I'm 32 years old now. When my mum died, I was 12 years old. I was a different person, right? When my mum died, I was into Ninja Turtles and riding bikes. Now I'm a recovering alcoholic that's addicted to sex and smoking cigarettes. She's not going to want to know all that. And my friend said, yeah, but James, right? If you believe in the concept of an afterlife, like heaven, for example, and she's looking down on you, then she's already going to know all that. And I said, that's so much worse. That is so much worse. I don't want her seeing all that. If there is a concept of heaven, of some sort of afterlife, and our loved ones are looking down on us, that's creepy, right? That's really creepy. And if they are looking down on us, seeing it all, do they see everything? Because if they see everything, I'm fucked. Man, I'm going to get to the afterlife. My mum's not going to talk to me. I'm going to get up there. She'll be like, oh, I don't want to hear it. Nah, I don't want to hear it. I've seen you do some fucked up shit. Matter of fact, you're grounded, actually. Yeah. You're heaven grounded. Hey, you guys drinking tonight? Yeah? Yeah? Nice. I love that for you guys. I love that for you guys. I am a recovering alcoholic, which is good. Yeah. Thank you. Are you clapping because I'm recovering or because I had the problem? Like, my problem was binge drinking, right? I was a blackout drunk for the better part of 10 years. I neglected my career, my mental and physical health, and my finances. But now that I'm getting on top of all those things, I just think I'm making all these groundbreaking discoveries that nobody else knows about. Like I've got the secrets to life or something. Like I was having a conversation with a guy the other day, and we were talking about money and inflation. And I said to him out loud, I was just like, yeah, you just got to be disciplined, man. Yeah, you just got to be disciplined. You just got to save money. This is what I've started doing. I've started buying all my groceries in bulk at the start of the week, and then I only cook and eat those groceries. And trust me, man, if you do that instead of using DoorDash every day, you save like $200 a week. And then he told me about the 2 properties that he owns. Yeah. One was upstate and one was in the Hamptons. But I still gave him my hot tip. Said you should still do your groceries. Yeah, it works. It works. I just think I'm like so awesome at life now that I've been sober for like over a year. Like, thank you. Thanks so much. I just think I'm just so arrogant about it now. Like the other night I got 8 hours of sleep and then woke up in the morning and produced a solid stool. I was like, why isn't every motherfucker living like this? Everyone needs to live like this. I started walking around the house like Conor McGregor, just like... I'm so fucking healthy, man. So healthy. My financial decisions are just so much different these days. Back when I was drinking, like, the biggest decision I had to make financially was like texting my dealer at 2 a.m. and asking him if he can deliver me another bag of cocaine. He'd always reply, I can deliver you another bag of cocaine, but if I'm going to come out all the way to Brooklyn at 2 a.m, you've got to buy a minimum of 2 bags at $100 each. And I've never texted back anyone quicker. That's the easiest decision I've ever made. You telling me I can forget about all my problems for another 5 hours for $200? Perfect. These days it's not the same. I was in the grocery store the other day doing my grocery shopping. I bought green peppers instead of red peppers. And I did so because the green peppers were $1.99 a pound. The red peppers were $4.99 a pound. And I couldn't justify that. Right? And I was proud of myself for making that decision, I was. But if I'm going to be honest with you, it took me about 5 minutes. It's not just money decisions and stuff that I'm better at now. I just love letting people know about all the good things that I'm doing. Like I called my brother the other night. I was on the phone to him, my twin brother actually, and he we're on the phone, and I filled him in on the concept of list making. I was like, trust me, man. That's my favourite. I just trust me, man. Every day you wake up, just make a list of all the things that you need to do. And if you get those things done first, it gives you more time at the end of the day to relax and do fun stuff. And he just had his second kid. But I let him know about time management. Hey, that's for free, mate, that one. When you've got a severe drinking problem, if you're very lucky, your friends try to help you, and I was lucky. But sometimes the advice that they give isn't always the best advice. Like when I was in the thick of it, in the thick of my drinking problem, my friend said to me, he's like, I don't think drinking's your issue. You've just got to implement other healthy habits into your life, right? He said, this is what you've got to start doing every day when you wake up. The first thing that you do, make your bed. It's an old Navy trick. It teaches you discipline and it keeps you in good stead for the rest of the day. I said, that makes sense, right? And to be honest with you, I started doing it and I did feel that sense of accomplishment. I did it for a couple of weeks. And then after a couple of weeks, I went to work one day. And then after work, I went out drinking with some friends. We went to a bar, started drinking, started getting fucked up. We bought a bag of cocaine, went to another bar, started drinking more, did more cocaine, got kicked out of that bar for trying to have sex with someone in the bathroom, got an Uber home on my way home, stopped in at another bar, did Molly, drank more, did more cocaine, and then the next thing I remember, it was 10 a.m, I was in Bushwick, passed out on the street, getting kicked awake from a stranger saying, dude, you've got to get up. There's families taking their kids to school. And I got up, I had no phone, no wallet, no AirPods. The only thing I had was my keys to my house. I was about 8 blocks. And I walked back to my house and I sat down on my couch and I was feeling all the feelings. I was feeling a lot of shame, a lot of anxiety. I was very depressed. A lot of thoughts were running through my head. But I must say, not one of those thoughts was, fuck, thank God I made my bed this morning. you know? Cluttered space equals cluttered mind is not a problem that I have. I'm sorted. My bedroom's clean, boy. Now that I'm not drinking, I have other issues, right? Like at the moment, I'm struggling to sleep. Same friend that said make your bed gave me some advice again. He said try counting backwards from 1,000. I said all right, whatever. So I started doing it, and let me tell you, if you make it under 500, you're no longer someone practicing a technique to try and help you sleep. You're just some guy in your bed counting backwards from 1,000. That's how that works. I've never felt like such an idiot in my life. Man, I got to like 367. I said, fuck this. It's funny when you get sober, like, because you go from being not looking after yourself at all to being, to looking after yourself, to being reasonably healthy. And it's funny when you see the people that you're used to seeing and you've changed in that way, because they're very complimentary, right? But if they say it with like a certain level of enthusiasm, it just carries a different weight. Like my friends always used to be like, oh my God, James, you look so good. You look so healthy. When they use the word healthy, it goes from a compliment to judgment. Because they're basically saying you used to look like shit. They're basically saying, remember when you used to completely fuck your life up? Remember when you used to drink on your own at the bar at 4 a.m? Remember when you used to have sex with strangers and not know anything about it? Yeah, you look like you don't do that anymore. And you just sort of got to sit there and take the compliment like, yeah, I guess I used to suck. Now I don't suck anymore. I ran a marathon. Actually, that's a mistake. I ran a half marathon. Yeah. I was going to say, so it only deserves half the claps, but you just doubled it, so I appreciate that. I ran a half marathon a few months after getting sober, and all my friends were so nice to me. They were like, you did it, bud. You did it. Look how far you've come. And the funny thing was, I ran a really slow time, and they're like, it doesn't matter about your time. Think back to where you were 6 months ago and where you are now. That's amazing. If you didn't know the situation, you'd just think that I was dying. I ran it with 3 of my good friends. Could not have been less of a thing for them. One of my friends finished 30 minutes before me. Before I even crossed the finish line, he was on a train to go home and father his 2 kids. I almost fainted at the finish line and people acted as if I won Olympic gold. My friend ran a marathon recently, which is very commendable, right? And she trained a lot for it, but when she was out training for it one day, she messaged me and she's like, James, I was out training for the marathon, and it's very embarrassing because while I was out running, I got runner's gut. And I didn't know what that was, so I was like, what's runner's gut? She's like, well, it's when the intensity of long distance running affects your insides and you need to find a bathroom like right away. And I was like, damn, that sucks. So what did you do? And she's like, luckily I was in my hometown and I was on a trail that I was familiar with, so I was able to duck behind a tree and use leaves to wipe. I was like, look, considering the scenario, that's actually not a bad result, right? And then just out of interest, I was like, how far did you run? And she said, 3 miles. I was like, I'm sorry to do this to you, babe, but I don't think you can claim runner's gut. I think you just needed to shit while you were out running. That's not runner's gut. They're like, what you have for breakfast? That's what that is. That makes sense though, because like, don't you have to run like 20 miles in extreme heat to justify shitting yourself? This kills me to say, even if she had run 20 miles in extreme heat, I still don't think it justifies it. Because shitting your pants is shitting your pants in any context. It's not like she's going to be telling that story and someone's going to be like, what's that? Oh, you had runner's gut. It's totally fine. That's so normal. Don't worry about it. No one's looking at those Google images of marathon runners with diarrhea running down their legs going, oh yeah, this makes total fucking sense. Yeah, this is normal. No, they're just going, I can't believe this guy's still running. I shat my pants on a boat in Thailand once. And it's because I get seasick. But no one gave a fuck. I was on the boat going, nah, it's because I'm seasick. Everyone was like, that dude over there just shat his pants. That's all it was. Can't justify it. She was raising money too, which is even more commendable. But what I like to wonder is, if the charity that she was donating to knew that the money was runner's gut money, do you reckon there's a chance they'd turn it down? Like she's handing them a check and they're like, what's that? She shat her pants while raising this money. No, thank you. No, we'll get food to the homeless another way. Because that's the definition of dirty money. It's got nothing to do with crime. Just means if someone shat themselves while fundraising. That's all it is. You guys seem, I'm enjoying this. You guys seem very lovely. It seemed like a very warm crowd. Do you guys mind if I fill you in on something a little personal? Yeah? I will fill you in. I'm a cuck. Yeah. You know what a cuck is? Yeah? You know what a cuck is? For those of you that don't know what a cuck is, a cuck is a man that enjoys watching his partner have sex with another man, right? It's called cuckold. Like, I enjoy cuckold activity. In my relationship that just ended, I was a cuck, okay? And because I'm a cuck, I have an issue with the way the word's used. You may have heard these like alpha males use it to put down men that they believe to be beta males. Like, that guy's a pussy, that guy's a cuck. I just don't think it should be used like that, because as I said, in my relationship that just ended, I was a cuck, and I've never felt more powerful in my life. Let me try and make that make sense for you guys. I think it's because having sex with another man's partner in front of him is universally considered to be the most emasculating thing you can do to a man, right? But if that's the most emasculating thing you can do to a man, and I get off to that, I win that game every time. It's like, oh, what? You think you're the alpha male because you're having sex with my girlfriend? Dude, I'm about to come. Okay? Let's just keep this show going. Don't stop, brother. Here's a scenario for you. Say you do come over to my house to have sex with my girlfriend. I'm going to want you to do a good job. Because that's my baby girl. I love her. That's my beautiful, gorgeous girl. So you're going to need to bring your A game. You're going to need to come correct. The other thing, I'm bisexual. So I'm going to want to suck your dick at some point. And I'm going to let you know about it. I'm going to float that idea. So now, Now you're in my house. The pressure's on. And you're considering gay oral sex that you've never done before while I sit in the corner and jack off. Who's the alpha male now? Right? That's what I'm saying. Being a cuck is the most alpha thing about me. Makes me so strong. My ex and I, we had an open relationship, right? Obviously. Imagine if one of you was like, what? Doesn't make sense. We had an open relationship. She went out to have sex with a guy one night over to his apartment, and when she was finished, she messaged me, and I called her straight away because I needed to get the details real quick, you know, because that's what gets me off, okay? And I said, how was it? And she's like, it wasn't that good. He didn't really know what he was doing, and I didn't get close to an orgasm. And I said, this guy sounds like a fucking loser. What an idiot. Can't even satisfy my girlfriend. Had to know too. I was like, did he have a big dick? And she's like, nah, not really. I'm like, this guy's a little bitch. I'm gonna take this guy's lunch money. In the last couple of years, I've started embracing the bisexual side of myself. I remember when I first started like sharing that information with people, my dad called me and he congratulated me on coming out. I said, we don't need to do that at all. We don't need to do that one bit. Because coming out's a crazy concept. It shouldn't exist. Like, and you know, like if you say that I was to come out, it takes away from the experience of a teenager, right? That may fear for, you know, getting bullied or like losing the support of his family, right? That wasn't my experience. I just got fucked up at a dive bar and then sucked some dude's dick. And then I just did that like 7 or 8 more times. So I was like, Dad, we don't need to do that at all. Funniest thing about embracing my bisexuality was when I started embracing it, I would tell my straight friends about it. And the funniest thing about that was they always wanted to know whether me being bisexual meant that I wanted to hook up with them as well. Because straight guys think everybody wants to fuck them, right? Yeah, I know that for sure. I was one for 30 years. I remember the first experience I had with a man. I was telling my roommate about it the next day. And he was very supportive. He was great. He's my best friend. But he was like, at the end, he was like, "That's great, but that doesn't mean you want to make out with me as well, does it?" I was like, "No, that doesn't mean I want to make out with you as well. I like feminine guys with like nice hair, nice skin. You just took a shit with the door open." Strangely enough, not my vibe. I can't be too hard on my straight friends though, because when I started embracing that side of my sexuality, I was a pathetic bisexual male. I was so bad at it. And it's because I was still thinking like a straight man, right? Still thinking like straight. Like that first experience I had that I just mentioned, that happened on a night out with a friend. We got really drunk, we went back to mine, and we did all the things, right? And the next morning, I woke up and my first thought was, damn, what a terrific evening. I'm very hungover. My second thought was, dude, I'm gonna have sex with so many women once I tell them that I fuck men. Straight man mentality. I was like, what other straight guys are out here sucking dick, man? There's none. I'm different. Girls like different. That was the way I thought, honestly. Really weird. But, totally different ballgame, right? Like picking up women, I used to do okay. Because I knew what I was doing. I had a bit of swag about me, right? These days I just got no idea with men. One of the last guys I hooked up with, we were sitting at a bar, right? And I said to him, hey, do you want to go back to your place I could give you a hand job or something. And he was also recently bi and confused, so he just said, yeah, I guess. I'm starting to like really embrace it, right? But every now and then I'm like still conflicted as to where I stand in the community. And with the queer community being such a beautiful community, like, I was like, I better figure this shit out, right? Better figure it out. So I spoke to my friend about it, and I was like, hey, like I'm struggling with this. And she was like, all right, let's talk it out. And she was like, how many men have you been with sexually? And I was like, oh, like six or seven. She was like, that's pretty good numbers, actually. I said, thanks. I'm pretty happy with it myself, to be honest. And then she was like, what was like your last sexual experience with a man like? And it was like, I was like right towards the end of my drinking days. We got fucked up at a bar, did a ton of cocaine. Then I gave him a blowjob on the street, and then we went back to my house and had anal sex. And she was like, James, look, I'm not a detective, but I think you might be bisexual. And I was like, that's actually some really good detective work, you know? Makes a lot of sense. I think you might be right. So now I just started taking some pride in it, you know? I've got to take some pride in it. You have to. It's important. Right? Oh, thank you. It's very important. But these days now, sometimes I just get too proud. I'll put the whole team on my back now. Get way too proud. You see it all the time in the comedy scene, like all these like straight male comedians doing jokes about like what if they were gay, you know, and that just annoys me, right? Because it's not their lived experience. Like I was doing a show the other night, and this like straight male comic was on before me, and he was doing something about like, look, I'm not gay, but if I was, I think I'd be pretty good at sucking dick. And then I was this close to jumping up and interrupting his set and just being like, but you don't. But you don't suck dick. I suck dick, so I know why I'm talking about it. But you don't suck dick. You don't suck dick, motherfucker. I suck dick. I suck dick. I didn't do that. I didn't. I would never stand up in front of a group of people and just yell that I suck dick. Would never do that. Just doesn't deserve the applause. A very lazy joke. Do you guys know that rapper Gucci Mane? Yeah. Believe it or not, this is still the sucking dick joke. Right? That rapper Gucci Mane, in some of his songs, he actually raps about killing people. But the thing about Gucci Mane, he's actually been charged with killing someone. And I'm just like Gucci Mane. If I tell a joke about sucking dick, it's because I'm that fucking guy. Alright? Yeah. It's your boy. I know you're all sitting there thinking, but James, you and Gucci Mane are nothing alike. And you are right. I will say the way in which Gucci Mane and I differ, and the only way in which Gucci Mane and I differ, is Gucci Mane got off that charge. Yeah. He was found to be acting in self-defense. Not me. I suck dick with intent. It's the end of the sucking dick jokes. Yeah, just settle. You can just relax a little bit. Got one more for you, actually. One of my straight friends, he said that it's weird that I'm bisexual, right? And he said, it's because you don't sound like you suck dick. And I said, how do you mean that? And he's like, well, it's because your Australian accent makes you sound very macho and very straight. And I got quite defensive. I said, I'll suck your dick, you big fucking cutie pie. Come here. Well worth it, that one. Well worth it. In my time in New York, I've lost all my hair, which is fucking fantastic. Really stoked about that. A lot of people say, just embrace going bald. You know, just shave it all off. Just embrace going bald. I will not. Okay? I have an issue with it. I think it's because, like, making fun of bald people is just for some reason still on the table. Like, everything else is out. Like, you can't shame anyone anymore, and so you shouldn't, right? But making fun of bald people is just fair game. My friends are terrible with it. I was going to a dress-up party not long ago, and I said to my friend, I was like, what should I go as? And he's like, well, you've got the same haircut as Jeff Bezos, so you should go as Jeff Bezos. And then he said, even better, dress up like an astronaut, so you're Jeff Bezos going to space. And I was like, did you just say I've got the same haircut as Jeff Bezos? He's like, yeah, you're both bald. I was like, I don't have the same haircut as Jeff Bezos. I've got the same condition as Jeff Bezos. I didn't choose this. I didn't choose to be bald. I didn't walk into a barber shop, be like, you know what, I've got a dress-up party coming up. I like the look of that one guy, that billionaire. Yeah, give me the fucking Jeff Bezos, actually. Perfect. I was watching the Super Bowl last month. We all watched the Super Bowl, yeah. You know how they have the TV ads that everyone pays attention to? We're watching the TV ads, and I don't know if you remember, but one of the ads was just an ad for a men's razor, specifically to shave your head. And it wasn't creative. All it was just some dude like shaving his head with it, and then he was like, see? Like, it's good, it works. But during that ad, I was with 10 friends at a bar, and one of the guys just took my hat off and said to everyone, look, it's James. Now, make no mistake. If you are one of these people that makes those jokes about your bald friends in front of their other friends, you are a hilarious person. You are very funny. Keep making those jokes. It's unfair, man. It's really unfair. Happens all the time. My friend, I was chilling with a friend the other day, and I got like a little too hot, and I had to take my hoodie off. Which meant I had to take my hat off, right? My hat was off for like 5 seconds, and that was enough time for my friend to go, huh, it's almost all gone, isn't it? It's like, yeah, that's a really good observation. And then he was like, you know what, it's funny, the combination of your bald head with the bags underneath your eyes sort of makes you look terminally ill. Yeah. I was like, that's so fucking awesome you said that just now. I'm so glad we're friends, Justin. Love how he tacked on the second thing as well. Like the bags underneath the eyes. That's like if I said to someone like, oh, I'm feeling a bit insecure, I've just put on a little bit of weight. And they're like, yeah, agreed. And your teeth look like shit too. I work in a cafe, right? But you all know that, don't you? I work in a cafe. I was serving a table not long ago. It was a table of 4 girls. And they called me over and they said, hey, has anyone ever told you that you look like that guy, the character from Breaking Bad? And I had never heard this about myself before, so I said, which one? And they said, Jesse Pinkman. I was like, okay, I guess that makes sense. And then I said, so you're saying that I look like Aaron Paul? And they said, who's that? Like, that's the actor that plays Jesse Pinkman. And they said, nah, you don't look like him. I said, you can't do that. I said, that's unfair. You can't call me over while I'm working just to be like, nah, you don't look like Aaron Paul. You just look like the meth addict that he plays on Breaking Bad. I'm pretty sure there's like a rule against doing that. I'm addicted to social media. You guys addicted to social media as well? We're all in a similar age bracket, so I assume so. Instagram's the killer. I'm addicted to Instagram. Spend way too much time on it. I care so much about how many followers I have, right? About how people view me on social media. Just so much about it. So much about how many followers I have. Like the other day I was hovering around 1,699 followers. So 1 off 1,700. And that consumed me for the whole day. I didn't get anything done, right? But a bit later on, my phone vibrated. 1 more follower. What a joyous time. At home, out loud, on the couch to myself, I just went, yo, that's fucking dope. That's so awesome. Funny thing was, the 1 follow that I got was just one of those Instagram sex bots. But I was like, nah, that's a legitimate follow. That sex bot loves my content. I care so much about how many followers other people have. Like my friend just got Instagram famous. He's like sitting really pretty on like 230,000 followers. And he only follows 800 people himself. And I'm one of those people. And I think that makes me cool. I show other people. I pull out my phone, I'm like, look at these videos my buddy makes. Say they're funny. Go on, say they're funny. Yeah, they're funny. I knew you'd find them funny. That's my friend. Funny thing is, I barely know the guy. He just used to bartend at a bar I used to go to. I haven't seen him in like 5 years, right? But to my friends, I'm like, that's the homie. That's the homie. Because of my experience in cafes, I've got an issue with coffee. Do you guys drink coffee? Woo! Yeah. Got an issue with it. Got an issue with these people that drink coffee. Got an issue with people that rely on coffee. You know those people that can't function without it? You know that type to like show up late to work and it's sort of like they can't see. They're like, don't talk to me until I've had coffee. It's like, how about I only talk to you when you haven't had it? See if you can get your shit together. Start acting like a human. I make people coffee all the time. I was making guys coffee the other day. I handed it to him. And to go to pay for it, instead of handing me his credit card, he handed me his New York State ID card. And I was like, dude, this is your New York State ID card. And then he just sort of came to and he was like, sorry, bro. Can you tell I haven't had my coffee yet? It's like, can you fucking wake up, dickhead? Jesus. I get that you're tired, but it's not an excuse to be a fucking idiot. So, I was fortunate enough during lockdown, I was in Melbourne, Australia, and I was fortunate enough to work at a cafe, and we were doing to-go coffees out of a takeout window, right? And one day this one mum, she came up and she was ordering, and she had her like 3-year-old son next to her, and she was just like yapping away while she was ordering. So much so that while she was yapping away, her son like ran onto the road to the point where a stranger had to go get her son, and the stranger brought him back and was like, your son almost ran onto the road. And then she just looked at me and laughed it off. And all she said was, see what happens when I haven't had my cappuccino? You can't do that. You can't just put parental negligence down to not having had caffeine. That's not going to hold up in court. You can't just be standing in front of the judge like, yeah, look, Your Honour. Yeah, look, my kid's dead. But to be fair, the barista was taking his sweet time. It's not going to hold up. I'm dating again. Yeah, the cuck stuff. Last relationship, right? Not my current situation. Still a cuck. Single though, not in a relationship. So I'm dating again, and but dating's hard, man. Dating's hard, but I don't need to tell you guys that. I was trying to organise a date with a girl the other night, and yeah, hell yeah. Yeah. You and I, brother. Men are so simple like that. That's all you have to say. I wasn't even on the date at this point. I was organising it. Oh, hell yeah. That sounds fucking awesome. I was trying to organise a date, and I messaged the girl, and I was like, hey, do you enjoy going bowling? And she replied, I do enjoy going bowling, but I'm no good at it, so don't expect to be impressed. Yeah, imagine if I expected to be impressed. Like, that's just what I look for. Just a fucking weapon at 10-pin bowling. As if she texts me that, I'm going to write back like, oh, what's that? Oh, you're no good at it. Well, delete my number, babe. Because if you're not rolling at least 180, I don't know what the fuck you're doing on Hinge. Can you imagine if it was the other way around, though? If she was good at it? Like, if she was just a former 10-pin bowling prodigy? Like, if I was like, hey, do you enjoy going bowling? She's like, matter of fact, I do enjoy going bowling. And I'm actually a bit of a fucking freak at it. If I got to my date and she's already there with a glove on and she's just turning him down the lane, well, I'm going home. I'm not trying to be smoked. I compare myself to my twin brother a lot, right? I was just gonna say we're the same age. Forgetting that 2 seconds earlier I said my twin brother. Compare myself to my twin brother a lot. He just had his second baby girl, which is really nice. And thank you. Yeah, actually means a lot to me. So the claps, I do appreciate that. Oh, thank you. Just had his second baby girl, which is really nice. Called him the other night. I was like, how's it all going? He's like, we're actually having some issues with her. Every night when we give her bottle, she's actually drinking too much too quickly, and she keeps throwing up. And I was like, look, I feel that, you know? It's actually a big part of why I stopped drinking. Just tell her to have like a glass of water in between each bottle sip. I compare myself to him a lot. It's a lot, since like drinking and not drinking, it's a lot different though. Like a few years ago I got a call from him and it was about midday in Australia, but it was about 2 a.m. here, and being in the state that I was naturally I was quite drunk, right? And he called me and he said, James, I've got fantastic news. I just bought a house. And I said, mate, that's great. I just bought a chicken panini from the bodega. And he got quite mad because he didn't seem to think the two compared. And he emphasised his point. He said, James, I've just put down an $80,000 deposit on a 3-bedroom place. But I emphasised my point. I said, mate, the way they toasted this panini will make you wonder why you bought a fucking house. It's crisp, paid in cash. He's just so much more successful than me, my brother. He's got the 2 girls now, he's got the house. Him and his partner are engaged to be married. You just look at my twin brother and you think, this guy looks like he has life all figured out. And then you look at me and you just think, this guy looks like he took it really hard when Mac Miller died. And I did. I really did. Be spot on to think that. I leave you with a little story. These days the comparisons are different between me and my brother now that I'm sober. He called me not too long ago, right, to tell me the news, and I was at work, right, and he called me and I was at the kitchen pass and I had 2 plates of food in my hand, but he called me and I looked at the time, and in New York it was about midday, which meant that in Melbourne, Australia, it was 3 a.m. in the morning, right? And I answered the phone, but all I could think was they weren't due for another week, right? So that wasn't on my radar yet. But my nonno, my Italian grandfather, he was very sick at the time, right? So I thought, Adrian, my brother, he must be calling me to tell me that he's on the way to say goodbye to nonno because nonno's about to die, right? So there's 2 plates of food in my hand, and I've got the phone in the shoulder like that, and I pick up and I say, what's up? He goes, do you have some time? I said, look, not really, but like, what's up, And he said, we just had the 2nd baby girl, right? And it was very, very special. And then the next thing he said was, I delivered her myself on the bathroom floor of our house, right? Keeping in mind, they didn't plan to have a home pregnancy. They just didn't make it to the hospital in time. It wasn't part of the plan. Anyway, he told me the rest of the story. The whole time I've just got 2 plates of food in my hand, right? He told me the story and I hung up and I was quite overwhelmed, right? By joy. I was worried about my brother and my sister-in-law about the safety of the baby, But I thought about my brother that day and I didn't really want to continue with work because it was such a big moment. But I thought about my brother and I just thought, look, if my twin brother, right, can deliver his own baby girl on the bathroom floor of the house that he owns, then I can deliver these 2 bacon and egg sandwiches to table 6. Right? It's easy enough. And I did my job well for the rest of that day. Right? So I may not be killing it, but my twin brother just had his 2nd baby girl and I'm doing just fine. So thanks so much for coming out.
Turkey, egg, and cheese, spicy mustard mayo, lettuce, onion, olives, banana, peppers, tomato on
Hell
a
yeah,
whole
baby.
wheat
That's
wrap.
been our
Kettle
show.
cooked,
Get up
crack
to next
pepper,
up.
make the whole
Tonight,
thing
Ricky
slap.
Carvel,
What the
baby.
fuck is
Yeah,
you talking
Evan
about?
Elliott,
The
you have a
apple
good
of
night.
Russia. Fondle and Fupas from North Narnia to Prussia. I off you in a dust up. My dossiers are on display. No on the rumble, boy, you crumble like some coffee cake. Drip got the chalky taste. Adored and disordered like Goya in his darker days. She fuck with hustlers, but I caught her in a artsy phase. Holy broke, so smartly laced. Rapping ratchets, wrists and Cartier. The minute I can partly pay. But hold up, Zuckerberg got your jack tap. They let the tax lax, that's what you call a back scratch. Hail Caesar and decorative nail divas. Busted up with the shufflers and predicate bail beaters. Medical smell cheaper, but I don't smoke though. We got some 211, some ice house. Yeah, I don't want those. I'm bougie about the brewski. Knew me for dropping Julie's out the loose leaf and pulling that hot duke and out the coochie.